Welcome everyone. For today's practice, we are going to use some weights. You probably just need like your heavier set of weights. We're not going to do a lot of work with the weights. And otherwise, we're just going to use our mats. But you're going to ideally, I'm going to want you to be able to be near a wall. See if you can see me. And potentially have a chair to put your legs up on, or you could use a wall for that as well. So your mat, some weights, proximity to a wall that you can use, and potentially I'm going to use the edge of a couch, or you could use a chair to put your feet on. If that's hard, you could use the same wall. So yeah, let's just get started standing. We're going to start standing. I know we normally start sitting or lying down, but this morning we're going to start standing. And let's take a moment to feel our feet on the floor. So really take some time to ground down through the soles of your feet. Maybe spread out your toes or wiggle them a little bit, and then let your toes land into your mat and feel your whole foot, your heels, every part of the foot that connects with the mat, with the ground. Send your roots down. And as you root down into the earth, deeper and deeper, sometimes that creates a more relaxed sensation in our bodies because we feel connected. So we're relaxing down as we ground down into the earth. And then can that grounding down feeling help us to just straighten up a bit? So we're straightening up without pulling ourselves up. We're trying not to pull up from the head as much as we are like pressing down to stand tall. So enjoying this feeling of standing tall, we might tuck the chin a little bit, and you could even take a finger and kind of press down and kind of press in and up with your chin to create a little length in the back of the neck. And then feel broad across your collarbones. So sometimes people pull their shoulders back, which creates tension in the body. So rather than that, let's just think about broadening across the collarbones to create some openness here. So we find ourselves in a relaxed, grounded posture. And you could stand here with your eyes open. You might explore closing your eyes. And let's take a few moments to bring our awareness. You know, we've kind of been focusing on different parts of the body as we've grounded down, but just take in an awareness of how your body's feeling this morning. Physically, you know, any aches or pains or tightnesses that you might be having in your body. And as you're checking in and you're finding things that are happening or feelings in your body, just try to engage with those feelings in a positive way or in a supportive or empathetic way. So if you're finding pain or stiffness or tightness, you know, kind of offer yourself some understanding or some empathy, you know, like, yeah, I'm feeling a little tight here. Let's just think about holding that area with some love or some kindness or some acceptance. Like send sort of a mental hug to the area of your body that might not be feeling ideal this morning. And then we're going to start to focus on our breath. So we're going to invite a deep breath in and down. And then allow that breath to empty all the way out. And as we're doing these deep breathing practices, you might just, you know, feel the breath expanding and then releasing. Or we could also think about the breath as being directed toward an area of the body that might need some healing, some nurturing, some care. So we can, with our mind, direct the breath to any part of the body. We're breathing deeply now. We're letting that breath empty all the way out. Really tuning into this experience. Whatever else is going on in our day, in our lives, let's set that aside for now and just really be here, breathing in our bodies, focusing on that. So take one more full deep breath in, and then follow that up with a nice complete emptying of breath out. And after that, you can transition to a more natural breath rhythm. Once you're breathing more naturally, just take one more moment here to check in with how you're doing mentally, emotionally this morning. And with an awareness of how we're feeling, we might set an intention, either for this hour or for the day, something you'd like to invite in or cultivate or focus on. Breathing that in now. Great. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And let's just begin by lifting our heels up off the floor and coming up on the balls of the feet and then lowering back down. So of course, this requires a little balance if we come up onto the balls of the feet and then lower back down. There's some work to balance ourselves. We're going to do all kinds of balance work this morning. So we're going to come up and come down. And one more time like that, just lifting the heels up and then letting the heels go down. And so when we do balance work, we want to be patient with ourselves because we're going to wobble. I guarantee we're going to wobble. So now let's maybe start at one end of our mat. And we're just going to walk forward and lift a knee up and walk forward and lift a knee up. And maybe you can do one more step forward. And then we're going to walk back, which is going to be a little more challenging. Walk back and lift the knee up and walk back and lift the knee up. So try that again, just walking forward and lifting a knee up, walking forward, lifting a knee up, walking forward, and then same thing, walking back. And just kind of with that little pause as the knee comes up. Yeah. And then turning again to face your device, we're just going to step to the side and lift a knee up and step to the side and lift a knee up. Yeah. And so again, we're going to have times where we're solid and times where we're going to wobble. So we can continue to just do the stepping to the side, or we could add more of a little hop. So there's a little more momentum kind of pushing us, a little more of a challenge to balance. So we're hopping, trying to hold, and hopping. Yeah. And then, can we do that facing forward? Can you jump into a step and then jump back? So you're jumping forward and jumping back and jumping forward and jumping back. Let's start with the other foot. So jumping forward and pausing, and stepping back and pausing, a little hop forward, a little hop back. One more time, a little hop forward and a little hop back. Good. All right, so now you can face your device again. So we're going to start on one leg And we're going to start swinging the other leg. And when we swing a leg, we probably pretty naturally kind of let our arms swing. And if they're not swinging, go ahead and let them swing. It's kind of their natural inclination. So this is, a lot of times we just stand to balance. We're doing more dynamic balance work today. And then let's do that on the other leg. So we're gonna just get the feeling of a swing. And of course, a littler swing is gonna be a little easier to balance. A bigger swing is gonna make it just a little more work to balance on the other foot. So going back to that first foot and the same idea of swinging the opposite leg, can we do this and can we look off to one side? Can you keep swinging the leg and look up at the ceiling? And you're gonna maybe wobble, and that's okay. Kind and forgiving with ourselves. Can we look off to the other side? And then look forward. Let's try that on the other leg. So we're standing on the other leg and swinging the other leg. And we're gonna look off to the side. And we're gonna look up at the ceiling. We're gonna look off to the other side. And we're gonna look forward. Great, all right, standing center. So now, actually, I have to look at my notes because I wrote down all kinds of ideas and they're kind of evading me right now. All right, so we're going to, so we're gonna just practice tree pose. So this is kind of a familiar thing that we do fairly often in our yoga practice. And I like to do tree pose. You could do it with your foot up here. I don't like it with your foot against your knee or your shin because that's hard on the knee. So I like resting the heel on the ankle and then lifting the foot up, just kind of doing that little hinge so that the floor is really close. So this is our traditional tree pose. We're going to try not to let the hips veer off to the side. We're going to keep them parallel, right? And then we're going to try turning our head to the side, turning our head to the ceiling, turning our head to the other side, and bringing our gaze forward. Can we reverse that? Turn your head to that second side, turn our head up toward the ceiling, turn our head to the other side, and then bringing our head forward. All right, let's do that on the other leg. Heel can be on top of the ankle, and then you just lift the foot off the floor. If your hips have kind of dropped, kind of even up your hips, really ground down through your standing leg. So we've done this many times. Can we do this and turn our head to one side? Try turning your head up toward the ceiling. Look. Turning your head to the other side and then bringing your gaze forward. And we'll go the other way with our gaze. So we're going to start off to that one side that we were just at. We'll take our gaze up. We'll take our gaze off to the other side. And then we'll bring our gaze forward. Great. All right, stand on both legs. Just kind of shake it off a little bit. All right, one more thing for sort of standing balance. Because when we balance, we need all kinds of strength in the muscles of the feet and the ankles and the knees and the hips. But we also use our vision quite a bit to help us balance, which is one of the reasons why our balance gets worse as we get older, because our vision gets worse as we get older. So turning our head makes it more challenging. Now we're going to explore closing our eyes. So you could have your hands to heart, you could put your hands on your hips. We're just going to hover one leg. And you could have your hands on your hips. You could also just have your arms down your side. You're just going to hover one leg barely off the floor. So it's really easy to put it back down. So as we hover one leg off the floor, we're going to try closing our eyes. We're not going to probably last long. And when you feel like you can't hold it anymore, just open your eyes. And then when you're ready, try again closing your eyes. So it really forces us to focus our awareness internally and use other means of balancing besides our vision. When you feel like you need to open your eyes at any point, you can. So one more effort here of closing your eyes for whatever amount of time works for you. And then let's switch. So we're going to balance on the other foot. So we're just hovering that foot really close to the floor. So it's really easy to put it back down. And then we're going to try closing our eyes. And a lot of times with this balance work helps us to uncover is for some of us, balance is harder on one side than the other. And so that might help us start to tease apart, why is that? You know, if there's some weakness in the hip and the knee, and the ankle, maybe it's an old injury. So we're just trying with our eyes open, with our eyes closed, maybe one more effort or a little more continuation of this last one. All right, great, good work. You can just kind of shake that up. I know my lower legs are a little tired. All right, now we're gonna go and we're gonna use the wall. So I want you to go and stand near a wall. And we're going to, I want you to stand a fingertip away. So your hand is fully extended and the tip of your finger is touching the wall. So the arm comes down, and when the arm lifts up, you're right there. Your fingertip is touching the wall. Your feet are beneath you, hip distance apart. Let's take the other arm out, and we're just going to take that arm and reach it up. And then we're going to stretch over to the wall, but stay on your fingertip. So you can't go super far, but you're getting a little lateral stretch here. Take a breath into that side. And then exhale that arm down. Let's do that again. Take that outside arm up and stretch it over. You can stretch your hips away and breathe. And then take that arm down. Breathe out. Great. Now we're going to put the hand against the wall. The whole hand is against the wall. We'll do the same thing. Take the arm out and up, and then maybe you can feel like you can stretch away a little further. Breathe into that side, and then let that arm go out and down. Let's try that again. Take the arm up and over. Breathe in, and then take that arm back down as you exhale. Now this arm that's extended out, we're going to reach it across. I want you to reach it across and place that palm against the other palm. And then as you're here, your upper body is rotated or twisted. Can you turn your pelvis back towards your camera so that you're twisting your upper body and your lower body is more forward? Let's take a breath here. And then as the breath goes, we'll reach that arm out again. Take a breath here. And then again, take that arm across. We're going to place that hand on the other hand. We're going to try and turn the hips a little more forward. And then can you push your hips away? So you're pushing your hands into the wall and you're pushing your hips away. So you may be feeling a stretch all along that rib cage and into that hip that's further from the wall. Take a breath here. And then let it go. And then take that arm away from the wall and we can just kind of shake it out. And just maybe notice that you're feeling something very different on the side of the body that was away from the wall than the side of the body that was closer to the wall, right? So now let's even that out. So we're going to do the same thing. You might turn away from your device. I'm going to turn sideways and use another wall. So same idea though, we're going to put our fingertips on the wall, have our feet right beneath us. So if you dropped your arm down and lifted your arm out, your fingertip is touching the wall. Then you're going to take your other arm out to the side. And then we're going to take that arm and reach it up. And just stretch over towards that wall and breathe in. And then let that arm come back down. Let's do that again. Take that arm out and up and over. Just breathe into that side. We're going to put our palm against the wall. And then that outer arm is going to stretch up and over. You can like take the hips a little further away, a little more breath into that side. And then let that arm float back down. We'll do that again. Arm goes up and over. And then arm goes down. Now you've got that palm on the wall. You're going to take the other arm, reach it across, place your palm on the other palm, and then turn your hips more forward. So your upper body is rotated, but your hips are staying forward. Take a breath here. And then take that arm away, open it out to the side. Let's do that again. Reach that arm across, press your hands into the wall now, and push your hips away from the wall. So it's a different kind of stretch, but it's kind of feels like a nice way to stretch into that side body and into your hip. Take a breath here. Let it go. And then just come back out. Relax your arms. All right, let's start at one end of our mat. We're going to do a more traditional flow here. I just wanted to mention earlier my internet went out. So if that happens, I'll probably get it back. So if for some reason we lose our connection, just rejoin, just be patient. So hopefully that won't happen. All right, so we're standing at one end of our mat. Now I want us to inhale, arms out and up, big stretch up. And then as we exhale, we're going to let the arms drop down. We're going to let the chin drop to chest. And I want you to just roll yourself down. Kind of slowly, gradually roll down. As you start to roll, feel free to let your knees bend. And we're just going to kind of roll ourselves down. Knees bent enough till your fingertips kind of graze the floor. We're going to take a breath into the upper back. And then as we exhale, we're going to draw the belly in and roll back up. Just kind of working on a little spinal mobility here. We're going to stack the spine on top of each vertebra, lift the head up. Let's do that again. We're going to reach the arms out and up, breathe in, and then let the arms float down. Let the chin drop to chest, and then start to roll yourself down. Just gradually peeling your vertebrae, one off of the other. Knees can soften as you continue to fold down, ending up in a nice forward fold. So when we fold over this way with knees soft, it's really easy on the low back. If we want a little deeper stretch in the back of the legs, and it feels all right for the low back, we could think about lifting the sitting bones up and drawing the head in a bit more. If that's something that you want to do, take a breath here. Let it go. And then we're going to start to walk our hands forward. Walk your hands out and make your way down into a plank position. Nice and long and strong. Spread the weight out under your thumbs, under your index fingers, pushing your hands into the floor, pressing back through the heels, long line, ankles, hips, shoulders, ears. We're going to take a breath here. And then using the belly, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take and create some space across your upper back here. Your knees could be bent a bit. Draw the hips up and back. Breathe in and out. Then we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet, ending up in that forward fold. We're going to roll ourselves up. We're going to reach the arms out. Inhale up and overhead. This time we're just going to swan dive forward instead of a roll. And then again, walk our hands out all the way into a plank. Let's hold plank here. Pushing into the floor. Strong in the arms, strong in the shoulders. Strongly supported through the core. Legs are engaged. Take a breath, and then let's bend the elbows a bit. Elbows pointing back towards the feet rather than winging out. We'll take another breath here, and then we're going to straighten the arms, pull up and back to down dog. Knees can soften here. Breathe in and out. We're going to lower again to straight arm plank. We'll hold here. We'll bend the elbows a bit. We'll hold here for a breath. And then let's drop the knees down behind and lower our chest down into the floor. Come down nice and close to the floor and then push back up to knees. Curl the toes under and lift the knees. Lift the hips up and back to down dog. Take a breath. Exhale to straight arm plank. Little bend in the elbows. Hold here for a breath. Exhale, knees down, lower the chest down. Let's do that again. Push up to knees, lift the knees, lift up and back to down dog. Take a breath. Exhale to straight arm plank. You could hold straight arm plank. You could try a little bend in the elbows. Take a breath. And then lower all the way down to belly. Great, let's come on to the tops of the feet. We might slide the heels of the hands back a bit as we inhale up to baby cobra. And we'll exhale back down. Let's do that again. Inhale up to baby cobra. And then lift our hands a little bit off the floor. Lift the elbows and squeeze, hug in. And then release the hands, release the chest. Let's inhale up to baby cobra again, keeping the hands down this time. And if we like, come up a bit higher into cobra. And then lower back down. Let's push back up to knees, curl the toes under and lift the knees. And we're just gonna, this time, press back into a bent knee. So it's a really bent knee down dog. It's not your traditional down dog. And then come forward, and you can drop to knees or just come straight down. So that's one option, pushing up into plank and then going back into a bent knee down dog. We'll do that a few times. Another option is to be on the knees, lowering down and then pushing and taking your hips back on your knees. So we're just going to do a couple more of these. You could be on your knees, lowering down and pushing up and back, or you could be in a plank, lowering down and pushing up to like a bent knee down dog. One more time, whichever variation you choose. Ending up back. And then let's all transition to child's pose. So we'll bring our knees down if they're not already, and we're going to sit all the way back on our heels, round over, give the arms a break, take a moment to check in, breathe into the back body. What are you inviting in this morning? Breathe it in. Let the breath empty out. Nice. All right, with your next inhale, we're going to reach our arms out. We're going to make our way to down dog again. This time we're going to lower to straight arm plank, and we're going to take side planks. We're just going to roll to the sides of the feet, press down to lift up. Now the hips might drop down. Can we lift the hips up? And let's go down and up a little bit. So you can have one foot in front of the other. You could also stack your feet if you like here. We're dropping down and lifting up. We're dropping down. Now this is hard on your wrist, so you could drop onto a forearm if it's too much for your wrists. Let's just do two more. Dropping down and lifting up and dropping down. Lift up and hold for a breath. And then go back to your plank. Pull up and back to down dog. Breathe in and out. We'll do the other side. Lower to straight arm plank and then roll to the other side. Press down to lift the other arm up. And then you can lower your hips down and lift your hips up. And lower them down and lift them up. And lower them down and lift them up. You could have one foot in front of the other. You could stack your feet. Let's do two more. Lower down and lift up. This next time when you lift up, can you hold it up there? Take a breath. Nice. Then back to plank, back to down dog. Take a breath here. Exhale to straight arm plank. Maybe a little bend in the elbows. And then we'll lower all the way down onto belly. And let's take our forearms out in front on the floor. We're going to rest our head on our hands. We'll give the upper body a little break here. As we press the front of the hips down into the floor, Let's press the tops of the feet down as well. And then lift the legs up. Front of the hips press down, toes reach back, legs are lifted up. Let's hug the heels in towards the midline and then separate that. Hug the heels in and separate. Hug the heels in and separate. One more time, hug your heels in. Maybe lift the legs up. Take a breath and then lower the legs down. Now let's bring our forearms underneath us. We're going to measure fingertip to elbow, elbow to fingertip, and then we're going to slice down with the forearms to lift the chest. We'll curl the toes under. We can come up to a kneeling forearm plank, or we could lift the knees off the floor, full forearm plank. If your back is bothering you, try to lift the hips just a little bit more, really fire up your core, or go back to knees. You could just hold statically, or could you do little circles with your pelvis? We call this stirring the pot. Take it out to the side, up and around, back to center, side, up and around, back to center. We'll go the other way, side, up and around, back to center, side, up and around, center. One more time. And then we're just going to hold that plank. Take a breath. Nice work. And then lower down again. All the way onto your chest. You can again rest your head on your hands. Let everything relax for a moment. Maybe move your hips a little side to side. Breathe in and out. Then let's hover our head and bring our arms to our side, palms up. We're going to press the hips down and lift the legs up. We'll reach back through the fingertips. Let's pull the heart forward and inhale up into locust pose. Long through the back of the neck. Long reaching back through the toes and the hands. Could we lift the legs, lift the chest a bit more, and take a breath. Very nice. And then lower yourself back down. All right, we're going to push ourselves back to knees. Take the hips back. And again, we're going to sit back into child's pose. Breathing in and out here. Checking in. Connecting with how we're feeling. Breathing in what we need this morning. Offering ourselves love, empathy, kindness, encouragement. With our next inhale, let's lift our heads up and transition to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out. And then I want you to just drop onto your knees. And we're going to come up to stand on the knees. Let's step one foot out in front, doesn't matter which foot. And we're going to have the heel kind of right under the knee. And initially, we're just going to try a little more balance work. So as we're here, you could lift your heel off, but then can you lift your whole foot off the floor? And just kind of try and balance on this one leg. And at some point, you're going to have to put your foot down or grab the wall. And then just try again. So you're just kind of getting your stabilizer muscles working here to try to hold this position. If you curl your back toes under, you have a little more stability. If you're on the top of the foot, it's a little more challenging. But just maybe try one more time. Balance on that one knee. And then put that foot down. All right, now with the heel maybe a little forward of the knee, let's start to put the weight into the front foot, letting the back hip move forward and the hips kind of sink down. And then push the weight back. Let's put some weight into the back knee and shin, pressing down, and then take the weight forward into the front foot. And as we're here, we'll swing the same arm as the front leg up, breathing in. We'll keep that arm up. As we breathe out, we'll swing the other arm up and breathe in. As we exhale, let's keep the arms up and overhead. Take one more breath, stretching both arms up as the back knee presses down. And then we're going to bring those hands down to the floor. Let's curl the back toes under and press up into a lunge, feet hip distance apart. Then we'll push into the front foot and rise up. Straightening the front leg, hands to hips. We'll square our hips to the front of the mat. Bend the front knee and push that foot down to straighten. Bend that front knee and push down to straighten. One more time, bend that front knee and push down to straighten. Now we're going to bend the front knee. Let's lean forward and bring hands to heart. And we're going to try moving into a balancing warrior. So we're going to bring the weight onto the front foot. We're going to try straightening the front leg and then lifting the back leg up, hinging forward into balancing warrior. Much as we can, we want to get that leg and the upper body parallel to the floor. Pressing out through the heel, lengthening through the crown. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. And then we can bend the standing leg, step the back foot down. Let's bring our hands to the floor and step back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. And then we're going to again come down to knees. So that foot that was out in front, we're going to step the other foot out in front. So step the other foot out in front. And I didn't say this earlier, but this is hard on your knee to balance on the knee if you're on a hard floor. So you could cushion that knee. But could you lift the heel up on the front foot? Could you lift that whole front foot off the floor and just balance on the bent knee? So just kind of try that a few times. And you're just going to ask a whole bunch of different elements of balance to kick into play. Some muscles are going to turn on. Your balancing crystals in your ears are going to try and support you. Your vision is trying to do the work. So just try one more time. Varying degrees of success. And then when your foot is down, this time take your heel a little forward of your knee and then let the weight move into that front foot. Dropping into a nice deep lunge here. And then push the weight back. Now put some weight in the back knee and shin and then let the weight move forward. Yeah, and then same arm. Well, actually, same arm as the back leg. Let's swing that one up first and take a breath and let it go. Then swing the other arm up, taking a breath and letting it go. Back knee presses down as both arms reach up, taking a breath. And then letting the arms come down, fingertips to the floor. We'll curl the back toes under and press up to lunge. Feet are hip distance apart. We'll press into the front foot, straightening the front leg, rising up. Hands on hips, let's square our hips to the front of the mat. And then we'll bend the front knee and push down to straighten. And bend the front knee and push down to straighten. This time we'll bend the front knee and keep it bent. And then let's sweep the arms down and up and overhead and breathe in. And then we'll bring our hands to heart. We're going to lean forward. We're going to bring the weight onto the front foot. And then as we straighten the front leg, we'll lift the back leg up, tipping forward, trying to get the leg and the body parallel to the floor best we can, pressing out through the heel, lengthening through the crown. Take a couple of breaths. And then we'll bend the standing leg, step the back foot down. And let's actually just straighten the front leg and turn the feet forward. And we'll walk our feet or step our feet together. Good work. Okay, I'd like us to pick up our weights. You could probably use your heavier weights this morning if you have 2 sets. I think we won't be doing a ton of work with the weights. So you might want to use your heavier set of weights. Let's turn the left foot in and turn the right foot out. We'll have a big wide stride here. And we'll have our back foot turned in, and so the hips turned in, front foot turned out. I want you to start with your elbows into your waist. You're kind of making like a W. You're going to bend the front knee. And then as we straighten, we're going to reach out into a V. So we're going to pull into a W, reach out into a wide V. Pull into a W, reach out, wide V. Yeah, so victory for Wisconsin, right? Yeah. This is just a different way to do a bicep curl. Works the shoulders as well. So reaching out and pulling in, and reaching out and pulling in. Really connecting through the feet. You decide how wide your stance is, how deep you bend into this. We'll do one more like this. And then straighten your front leg. Now we're going to put the hands together, reach them up, and we're going to bend the elbows back. So we're going to bend the knee, and we'll have bent elbows, and then we're going to straighten the leg and press up. We're going to bend back and press up. Try to not let your ribs pop forward. Kind of knit your ribs in here, so you're working from the shoulders and not just arching your back. So we bend and we press up. And we bend and we press up. And we bend and we press up. Let's do 4 more. Bend and press and bend and press and bend and press. Last one like this. Nice work. Bring your arms in, drop them down, turn your feet forward, and we'll go to the second side. So back foot turns in, front foot turns out. Make your W. We're going to bend the knee, and then as we straighten the knee, we're going to reach out. We're going to pull in, and we're going to reach up. We're going to pull in and reach up. So that any time you decide the weight's too hard or the weight's too easy, you can switch it up, right? You can go heavier or lighter. Yeah, a couple more like this. Bending in, pressing up, bending in, and pressing up. 2 more, bending in, pressing up. Last one like this. And then bring your arms together. Drop your elbows back. We're going to bend here, and then we're going to press up. Bend, knit your ribs, and press up. Bend, and press up. Let's do 4 more. Bend, and press, and bend, and press, and bend, and press. Last one. Bend, press. Nice job. Bring them in. Turn your feet forward. Walk your feet together. All right, just a couple more things with the weights. We're going to maybe step more towards this front part of your mat, feet hip distance apart. We'll take a big step back with 1 foot into a lunge. And this time we're going to go down and up. So we're going to bend both knees and then go straight up. Wait a minute. Is that what I want to do? No. I want you to bend your front knee and lean forward. Yeah. We're going to do lateral raises. Yeah. Lateral raise out to the side and down. Lateral raise. Actually, this is a fly. We're flying out to the side. Yeah. Flying out. And flying up. Then we're going to do a row. Leading with your elbows. Pull up and down. Lead with your elbows. Pull up until the weights come by your waist. Pull up and down. Pull up. Let's fly again. Out to the side and then row it up. Row it up. We're going to fly out to the side and row it up. 2 more. Out to the side and row it up. Last one. Out to the side and row it up. All right, straighten the front leg. I did want to do this. We're going to lunge down and up and do lateral raise and down. Lateral raise and down. Lift straight out to the side and down. Just 4 more. Out and down. Out and down. Out and down. Last one. Good work. All right, step the back foot in. Step the other foot back. Feet are hip distance. Back heel is up. We're going to bend into the front knee, lean forward, and we're going to fly. Out to the side and down. Out to the side. Working the back of the shoulders here. Last one out to the side, and then we're going to row. We're going to row up, elbows lead, hands by the waist. Lower down. Row it up. Lower down. Row it up. Lower down. And then we're going to alternate. We're going to fly out to the side. Then we're going to row it up. And we're going to fly out to the side and row it up. 2 more. Fly out to the side and row it up. Last one. Fly out to the side and row it up. Good. And then straighten your front leg. Now we're going to bend both knees down with a lateral raise and then push up. Raise and lower. Raise. Let's do 4 more. 4 and 3 and 2. Good work. Last one. Nice job. Step your back foot in. We can put the weights down. We're going to lie down, but we're going to come close to our chair or the wall so that we can put our heels up on our chair or the wall. So we're going to end up with our hips under our knees, with our heels on the chair, or they could be pressing into the wall. Let's kind of check that your hips are under your knees. Your feet are hip distance apart. We're going to push the heels down to lift the hips up. Just feel those hamstrings working to hold you up here. And then we're going to lower down out of that bridge and take a breath. With a low hip bridge here. We're going to push the heels down and lift up, hold, and then lower down. Again, push the heels down, lift up, low bridge. Squeeze and hold, and lower down. One more time like this. Push down, lift up, squeeze and hold, and then lower down. Now, one heel presses down, lift the other foot off the chair, and press that one heel down and lift up. Squeeze and hold, and lower down. Couple more. Heel presses down, lift up, squeeze and hold, and lower down. 2 more times. Press the heel down, lift the hips up, squeeze and hold, and lower down. Last one. Press down, lift up, squeeze and hold, and lower down. Other leg. Press the heel down, lift the other leg up. Press the heel down to lift the hips up, squeeze and hold, and lower down. Again, press down, lift up, squeeze and hold, and lower down. 2 more. Press down, lift up, squeeze and hold, and lower down. Last one. Press down, lift up, squeeze and hold, and lower down. Nice work. All right. Roll to the side. Push yourself up. This time, make your way to lying all the way down on your back, on your mat. Fly yourself all the way back, and then hug your knees in. Maybe sway a little bit. Knees are together. Let's let the knees drop open now. So your knees are wide. Lift your head up now. Clasp your hands under your head. Let the weight of your head rest into your hands. So you've got bent knees and a straddle. We're going to take a breath in. As we exhale, we're going to curl up. We're going to bring the knees together. As we inhale, we're going to drop the knees open, drop the head back. So we're going to curl up, squeeze in, and inhale back. As your knees come in and you curl up, you could lift the hips a little bit and then open back and feet. So curl up, knees come in, hips lift, inhale back. Exhale, curl up, lift, inhale back. Exhale, curl up, lift, inhale Exhale, curl up, lift. Inhale, knees go wide. Let's do a few more of these. Opening out, curling up, opening out, curling up, opening out. We'll do 4 more and open. 3 more and open. 2 more and open. Last one, open. And then bring your knees in, bring your feet down. You can release your hands from your head. Let's grab onto one knee and extend the other leg out straight now. That straight leg, you can bounce the knee a few times and then just let that straight leg be heavy on the ground as you hug the other knee in close. And then take that leg up in the air, hold behind the thigh. Press the thigh into the hands till your arms become straight. Push your heel up, pull your toes towards you. Stretch up through that heel. And then stretch your toes up, pointing to your foot. And then squeeze or scrunch the toes to stretch deeply into the top of the foot and work the muscles in the bottom of the foot. Wiggle that off, circle it around in one direction. Circle it the other way. Big circle, as big as you can make them. Yeah. And then bend that knee, release that foot down. Take the other knee and hug it in. Extend that other leg straight. Bounce the knee a few times and then just let that thigh drop heavily into the floor as you hug the other knee in close. And then lift that leg up in the air, hold behind the thigh, press the thigh into the hands. Push your heel up, pull your toes in as your heel presses up toward the ceiling. Take a breath. And then stretch your toes up, pointing your foot. And then squeeze those toes. And then wiggle that off. And then make as big a circle as you can, pointing that foot in as many directions as you can as you circle it around. And then do that in the other direction. Bend that knee, release that foot down. We have time for one more movement here, whatever you might like. You might want to hug the knees in. You might want to take a little final twist of some kind. You might find something else that your body might appreciate at this point in the practice, right before our final relaxation. So do what feels good for just a couple more breaths here. And then we'll begin to transition to our final relaxation. So we're going to take a moment or two to get nice and comfortable. You might find a pillow or a blanket to go under your head. You might put something under your knees, or you might want a layer here. So do whatever gives you the most support, the most ability to be relaxed. And we're going to lie down with our legs extended, with our arms comfortable at our sides. Wiggle as much as you need to until you get to that place where you don't need to do any more wiggling, where it feels kind of just right. And then just allow the body to settle here. Gravity is actually a pretty powerful force. It makes the body be heavy. If we didn't have our bones, we'd just be kind of splat, like a jellyfish. Our bones and our muscles, keep us from, we resist gravity in that way. So, but imagine you were like a jellyfish and you could just splat, just completely melt into the floor. Sometimes you can think about your muscles kind of sliding off of your bones. They're so loose. They're so relaxed. They're just like jelly, just melting into the floor. Slowly, gradually, little by little, layer by layer, allowing the body to rest here. And the legs and arms are heavy, the trunk rests into the floor. Can we also release tension in the muscles that attach to the skull? Smoothing out the forehead, softening, relaxing the eyes, softening, releasing the jaw. Just ease in the muscles of the face. Lightness, openness, spaciousness, freedom. Let the body rest in this peaceful place of ease for a few minutes here. This act of relaxation is very restorative. We benefit by practicing getting to understand and feel and know what it's like to be in a relaxed body. This becomes a familiar place, a place we can return to. And in this relaxed body state, it offers the mind a chance to experience relaxation as well. So you might choose to stay here longer. You might just close your device. If you'd like to start to transition now, you could open your eyes, bring your feet to the floor, gently roll to your side. Take a moment or two to transition here. And then when you're ready, you could make your way up to sitting. Find a way to sit comfortably and maybe take a moment or two here for your own quiet reflection or meditation or gratitude or prayer. This hour was well spent. Let's move forth into our day with just a fresh perspective and perhaps an intention to to be what we want to be today. But thank you for being here.